For those who are flat-chested, you might think they're men.
The president of Tanzania, who is a woman by the way, has come under fire for comparing female athletes to boys for having flat chests. She literally went on stage in front of cameras and the press and said, quote, "For those of you who have flat chests, you might think they are men and not women." This was, by the way, after she had been asked to sponsor a female football tournament.
Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan has come under heavy criticism over her remarks about female footballers having flat chests and not being attractive enough for marriage.
She claims that the female athletes are making the country proud by competing. However, because they are so flat-chested and not attractive, it would be difficult for them to get married and have a family.
For those who are flat-chested, you might think they're men, not women. And when you look at them, you might ask yourself about their gender, because to get married, you look for a woman you're attracted to, right? There are certain attractive qualities people want, right?
It is so hard to even have a reaction to that because it is just such a strange and silly thing to say, really.
I think for me, I just had to listen to the video 3 times because my first reaction was, this is not true. This cannot be happening, and this is not happening. So for most people...
I mean, look at the reaction of the journalists after she says that. And remember, this is coming from Tanzania's first ever female president.
You're the first female president of Tanzania. Do you think some people are not really ready to have a woman as the head of state?
Typical of African culture, yeah.
For these sportswomen, when it comes to married life, I know there are others who are married to their fellow athletes, but most of them are not married. And we know that for most of them, getting married remains a dream.
Something else many female African athletes dream of is the ability to actually compete. In so many African countries, a career in sports is looked down upon and not seen as a real way of making money. So many African talents never get to see the light of day, and now the few female athletes that are able to make it through are criticized by a female president for their look.
Typical of African culture, yeah.
Because if one of you took one of these ladies home to introduce her as your fiancé, your mother would look at you in disbelief and ask you, is this a woman or a man?
A smart person knows what to say. A wise one knows whether to say it or not. The president messed up on both. They always seem to start out well. Then after they become comfortable, their true colors begin to emerge. To think that this came from a female president, disappointing. So all those cheering a female presidency, Suluhu Samia is denigrating female football players for having quote-unquote flat chests and thus lacking attractive features necessary to get married. You must be proud, African Women Leaders Network.
Typical of African culture, yeah.
Instead of criticizing how female athletes look, maybe the president of Tanzania could actually tackle some issues they are facing. For example, the 2 Namibian athletes that had been barred from performing in their preferred sports due to high testosterone levels, or the swimming caps for Afro hair being banned from the Olympics. But no, the supposedly flat-chested female soccer players is what is most important to the president of Tanzania.
Because they could not just expect that something like that would be said by the president, not just anybody else, just the president. So everybody still, I think, was shocked and surprised.
Typical of African culture, yeah.